Hello and welcome to FM22. Quite a bit earlier than I was expecting, but here we are. I'm Mr. Grand 2, and this is Thriller at the Villa, my beta save with Aston Villa. I'm very excited to start this. I think it could be really very good indeed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss what we've got coming up in this save and in other saves this year. So without further ado, we have been hired by Aston Villa. Let's get into it. My face is, well, I mean, I've just spent a good portion of time using the new manager creation tools. Well, we'll leave it there. Work to do in that department. But Aston Villa is where we will be starting our FM22 adventure, and I think this is going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be quite intriguing to see how it's going to go, because Aston Villa, of course, in a pretty solid established Premier League club again now after, of course, relegation, and I've just come off the back of a summer where they have, of course, lost their best player, their captain, their most iconic, talismanic academy player in recent times, one probably of all time, in the form of Jack Grealish, albeit with a softened blow of £100 million in the bank. So we've got a decent reputation. Media prediction of 8th, which is, I would say, it's obviously promising, but also quite high, maybe slightly higher than I would kind of like. That's kind of pushing for European football, which is maybe asking a bit too much. We shall see. But a very historic club, of course, previous Champions League winners, I believe the first English club to do so, and you're looking quite good financially. We've got £20 million of that Jack Grealish money still to spend, of course. They've signed some good players in the summer, of course, Emi Buendia, Leon Bailey, Danny Ings, and so on and so forth. Decent wage budget. Villa Park, of course, one of the highest capacity stadiums in the division, and very good training facilities too. We've got a lot of good youngsters coming through, which should be nice as well. And most importantly of all, Craig Shakespeare is our assistant manager. I was a bit confused about. I didn't really ever sort of see in the news who'd replace John Terry. It's Craig Shakespeare, and he's a pretty good choice. So the team, then the game things we're going to go with, is more or less the formation I will be going with as well. But some very good players and a very well-rounded squad, I think. Certainly the first 11 anyway. Yeah, Emi Martinez, very, very solid goalkeeper. Target, Mings, Konsa and Cash, a very stable back line. Douglas Luiz is a very excellent player, actually. I think very underrated, as is John McGinn, who has just been quietly going about his business very, very well. They're suggesting Sanson, which is interesting. Watkins, Bailey and Ings, the suggested front line. So we have a very, very good attacking set of players, I think. A little bit light towards the middle of the park and at right back, which we'll look at in a minute. But yes, some intriguing players here. So what do the board want? Christian Perslow is the chairman, and not to sign players over the age of 21, that's fine. That's kind of standard FM, really, isn't it? Attacking football, we will try and do that as well. Entertaining football, I can't promise it. I'm a bit sort of Jose Mourinho with that kind of thing. Sign players self-profit, which they certainly did in the form of Grealish, and overall quite good. The board only want mid-table, so the media are expecting a bit more. Board are a bit more realistic, which is good. So yeah, overall I think a very sensible, logical, well thought out and run club is looking like so far. So we will do, hopefully we're going to have a successful reign. Thank you very much, Christian. Press conference will definitely do. Meeting with backroom staff every week, sure, why not, at least initially. Arrange an intra-squad friendly to assess the squad when possible. I mean, it's kind of tradition as the first one. We'll do it for the first one. I don't normally do it because it's just kind of a bit of a waste of time, really. Someone always ends up getting injured. But anyway, good to see the game still saves incredibly quickly. The layout looking quite clean, I would say. It's looking a bit sort of this main area here. It looks like this is some kind of, I've got a window, but it's not fully maximized. I don't know how I feel about that, but it looks relatively clean. So today we're not going to do all that much. We're just going to we'll go through each screen, see what things look like, look at the squad, work out what we're going to do tactically, work out who we need to sort of, what areas we want to look to strengthen in as well. Right back is a problem. We've only got one right back. I've already noticed that before I even started, and we'll just sort of get a feel of it because it's looking pretty good. I mean, my manager at face looks even worse now. I look like I'm melting. I don't know what's happening with the hair, but anyway, let's look for our emails first of all, inbox first of all. So we're taking charge. Players with expiring contracts, always good to know. Ashley Young, I'm not too concerned about. Frederick Gilbert, who he is a right back. He's our backup right back. but he's been loaned out for some reason. So we only have one right back. So we might see if we can recall him because he's quite good. Otherwise, we'll bring someone else in. Otherwise, Courtney House is expiring, and everyone else not quite sort of a level we need, except maybe Cameron Archer, who's of course broken through in real life. How good does he look on this? Not bad. Not bad. I think we'll be renewing his contract pretty early on. Can we get potential ability on this bit? We've only got, it's on here. 4-star potential ability is very nice indeed. So anyway, tactic, we'll come to that in a minute. Club vision, we've already seen. I'm just going to accept it. Obviously, there's not really any point negotiating anything now. We've only just started. Pre-season preparation obviously hasn't really got underway. Injuries, well, Trezeguet is out. He's out injured for pretty much the whole season. 7 to 8 months to go. We've got a lot of wingers, so we should be okay. Danny Ings, of course, does have injury issues. We'll have to manage him. I think the big thing this year is managing fitness, which is not something I'm necessarily good at. That is the big thing this year. And what's also a big thing is that finally, once again, after being missing last year, female staff members have got actual faces. I mean, not actual faces, but regen faces. That's a welcome improvement already. So let's go to the tactic. We're gonna have to do it. If you've watched this channel before, I'm not a tactical genius. I'm not really an expert at it. But we'll see what we can do. Now, what I'm gonna go with, I'm not gonna go with one of the preset styles. I'm gonna go with a tactic which we used last year as a base, and we'll sort of see how it goes. It wasn't amazing, but it was a decent, solid enough tactic. We'll go with that, have a little variation of it, and then we'll sort of see how it goes. So my preferred formation is what was suggested sort of by the game anyway, a good old 4-3-3 kind of thing. Okay, so here we go. This is what we're going to start with. Whether it'll work as well as it did last year, and it didn't work that well last year, remains to be seen. Sweeper keeper, I think Emi Martinez is clearly going to be the man starting this one. This is a potential area to improve. Jed Steer is, well, he's here. He is here. He's not quite as good. And Martinez is going to be missing quite a lot of football this season, what with internationals being how they are, I think. Obviously, COVID not in the game, but potentially a new goalkeeper might be something we look to do. We're going to be using wing-backs, and we've got Matt Target, of course, on the left-hand side. Matty Cash, potentially soon of Poland, on the right-hand side. As said, we need another right-back. We'll look at that in a minute. Central defence is, of course, going to be Tyrone Mings alongside Ezri Konsa. We've got Courtney House and Axel Twanzebe to sort of support them as well. Now, midfield is an area where, again, we could potentially get someone else in. We've got options. I'm going to go with Douglas Luiz at the base of midfield. He's not, most comfortable as a deep line playmaker, but he can certainly do it. He's got a good passing, a good vision. He can certainly do it. He's more kind of a destructor, perhaps, but I think he can do that role well. John McGinn is going to be the box-to-box midfielder. He's very comfortable there. Might need someone else to sort of help him out. He's also left-footed, which... So, I like playing this way around. We might swap them around depending on how things go. And then Mazzala, again, McGinn can play that role quite well. But Morgan Sanson, who seems to be kind of forgotten about, is probably who we're going to go with here. He looks really quite good. We could also play Emi Buendia there, I think. He probably needs a bit of training, but I think he can play there relatively well. Now, attacking-wise, we've got a lot of options. I am going to go with Danny Ings up front from the start, I think, as opposed to Ollie Watkins. On the wings, Buendia, he might fit on the right. He's probably more used to playing on the right. But I'm going to go with inverted wingers because it suits Leon Bailey in particular, who could be, he's not played much in real life, but he could be, well, if you've played FM, if you've seen Bayer Leverkusen, he's absolutely, a superstar. And the fact that he's at Aston Villa, his physicals are nuts. Leon Bailey is going to be the star. I kind of feel like he might need a bit of training again, but I think, he's definitely getting some training to get used to the role. For me, Buendia on the left works as an inverted winger. He has all the tools to do it. Perhaps we won't do it straight away. We've got El Ghazi, who is, again, really quite decent too. I'm going to put El Ghazi in for now, but I am going to train Buendia up to play there and potentially to play there as well. Let's see the analysis, see how this looks. Looking very well balanced, if I do say so myself. Yeah, not too bad. As I say, right back, priority, goalkeeper, perhaps something in midfield. I think we need kind of maybe someone to back up John McGinn. We've got Sanson there for the Mazzala role. We've got Jacob Ramsey, who of course is broken through in real life, I think could do quite well there. Yeah, there's plenty of options. Right, so that's how we're going to go with. In terms of the instructions, the key change this year seems to be people. They said like, oh, gegenpressing's been nerfed. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think it will still work, but it's more a question of you need to manage it a lot better. And the key change is fitness. You cannot press constantly the entire time because your players will die, which is obviously something that is a feature of the tactic that I like to use. It's not pure gegenpress. It's kind of a bit of a hybrid of counter-attack as well. But it does kind of rely on pressing, so we're going to have to be careful. We do like to play at a high tempo. We do like to run with the ball. We do like to counter press, get things moving quickly, and we do like to press quite extremely. And then this is the one instruction that's changed. Trigger press is the new word for pressing intensity, but previously that was what it was called. So we got that on much more often. We're not going to be able to sustain that for the entire 90 minutes. We're going to be, having a high line of engagement. We're going to keep the defense nice and standard as well. I think this will be good. What I want is a fast start, and then once, hopefully we've gone 1 or 2 goals up, then we can start dropping the tempo down, dropping the pressing intensity down, just calming things down and trying to see the game out. That's the theory anyway. Whether it works remains to be seen. I'm going to create a sort of a copy of it with a bit more sort of calm approach from the start, counter-attacky approach against stronger sides, I think. But yeah, well, this is what we're going to more or less go with. Anyway, let's look at some other stuff. Dynamics, we'll do a team meeting in a moment. This is looking more or less the same. Data Hub is, of course, the big new headline feature. Welcome to the club, says David Stewart. Nice to see you, David. We're not going to get anything for a while, of course, as we haven't really played any football, but this is, I think, going to be very interesting indeed. Staff, this is all looking more or less the same. Going to need to have a bit of an improvement here. We've got 2 spaces in the coaching team to get people in. Training, I'm going to just, I'm not, Craig Shakespeare can deal with it. He's got to get paid for something, hasn't he? He's got to get paid for something. Medical centre is the same. We've already seen Trezeguet is injured. Let's see the fixture list. Who are we playing on the opening game of the season? It's Chelsea away. The European champions away from home. What a start. What a start. We'll play Watford as well, because that's potentially more winnable, isn't it? Unbelievable. I'm going to cancel this, I think, because if I even can. Anyway, but we're not going to worry about that today. Competitions all looks pretty much the same. We'll come to that in a minute. Club info screen looking a bit nicer, isn't it? Much clearer to navigate. The general stuff is down here. Jack Grealish, an icon of the club. That's good to see. Club vision, as we've seen, looking more or less the same. Finances, more or less the same there as well. Now, development centre, we haven't really looked at the youth players, how they are in the game. Obviously, there's been quite a few young players playing for Aston Villa in the start of the season. Jacob Ramsey, as we've seen. Cameron Archer, as we've seen. Carney Chukwuemeka has also done quite a lot of football so far as well. Again, decent potential there. We've got some exciting youngsters here. And if we actually put the old stars in, sort by that, Kane, Kessler, Hayden is apparently 5-star potential on loan at Swindon for this season. Louis Barry, of course, formerly of Barcelona, on loan at Ipswich, again 4.5-star potential. Yeah, we've got some good youngsters here. Aaron Ramsey, not that Aaron Ramsey, different one. I'm assuming he's Jacob Ramsey's brother. Indeed he is. Are they twins, or are they just regular old brothers? Do we know? No, Jacob's older, so they're not twins. Aaron apparently has higher potential, though, which is interesting. That's the under-23s. What about the under-18s? Most of the good players are in the under-23s in terms of youngsters, but still, very promising indeed. But so, what really matters, of course, scouting and transfers. This is, for me, the core of FM, the thing I love most of all. As we've seen, 20 million to spend. That's quite good. 70 million spare wage budget, not quite as good. But we can see if we can make it work. We've got at least one loan slot, I think, from the Premier League. Let's have a quick little look at the main things we want to do. Let's increase this scouting package up as well. We're quite a rich club. We can afford to do this. So first and foremost, the main priority is a right back. As I say, we might try and get Gilbert back, but if we can get Dani Alves on a free, I mean, he can still run really well. He's going to probably want a lot of money, but Dani Alves, give him a trial. Why not? We've got Ashley Young backing up Matt Target, Dani Alves backing up Matty Cash. That's an unstoppable thing. I think this year, work rate is something I always consider, but stamina and natural fitness are going to be really, really key attributes with players we look to bring in just to keep that sort of intensity going for as long as it can do. So quite a few options for us to consider aside from Dani Alves, perhaps more sensible than Dani Alves. George Baldock potentially now down in the Championship, of course. Martin Montoya, he's 30, so we'll try and steer clear of that one. There's options. There's certainly some options. The sort of default screen gives us the ability to sort by world reputation, which is interesting. That's quite interesting. Anyway, players available on a free transfer with that in mind, as well as Dani Alves. Paulinho potentially is someone we could bring in. Giovinco, with Gaston Ramirez, Ilaquim Mangala. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Adebayor still apparently going strong. And if we want players who have high physical fitness, look no further than Jack Wilshere, ladies and gentlemen. He's still a free agent, and I'm not sure we're going to do it. We want another goalkeeper. What about Willy Caballero at the age of 39? Probably not. Andy Carroll. Nigel de Jong. I mean, is he still playing? Is he? El Mohammadi. I mean, I'm pretty sure he retired in real life, and yet he's in here now. Physically still amazing. I mean, do we just bring back El Mohammadi? Do we just get him back to correct the mistake? I mean, physically, he still looks really good. He's only 33. Come back, Ahmed. Can you forgive us? Please forgive us. Just come back, mate. Just come back. I don't know if we're going to do that or not. We shall see. Anyway, I think that is going to be that for today. We've had a look round. It looks really quite good. I think let's press continue one time just to see what this looks like. Oh, there we go. Very good. Social feed is coming in there. Fantastic. Weekly staff meeting. This looks like bundles of fun. Let's go. Let's see. Suitable vice captain, Ashley Young. Yeah, why not? I agree. Brilliant. Individual training to start. Bertrand Traore. Yeah, go for it, mate. Really good. But he's actually quite good, I think. A lot of this sort of information you get from emails normally condensed down into the meeting. I did skip over the rest of quite a lot of it because I was like I would in any meeting in real life, kind of falling asleep. But I think that will be quite useful over a longer period. Most of the stuff now, like staffing and so on, I want to do myself. But longer term, I think that could be quite a useful feature. Anyway, yeah, so good. First impressions, yes, very good indeed. Certainly going to be interesting. Yeah, we will end there, I think, and we'll be back next time for some more. I mean, probably Chelsea and Watford. I mean, we're playing Watford because we're going to lose to Chelsea. It's inevitable. I'll go through pre-season, sort out things like staff, sort out things like individual training, look to sign a right back, if nothing else. And I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like. Don't forget, as said, to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what happens in the rest of the save and in the rest of our FM22 content on the channel this year. It's going to be extensive. It's going to be, hopefully, very, very good. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.